In this video, I'm going to show you how you can quickly create an event planning template so that you can establish a venue budget. Now, for this video, the venue in question is a winery, which we are going to do a tour as well as have a lunch. So the first thing we want to do here on the spreadsheet is list all of the components that we need to put together in order to execute this particular event. So obviously, if we're taking people to a winery, we are going to need a coach. So we will need a coach. I also like to include on-site staff, tour guides, as they can also be called. So let's just put a tour guide here. We will also need to determine the cost for the wine tour. Of course, let's assume that we're going to have a 3-course lunch, if I can spell it correctly. And of course, host bar, because we're just that type of a group. Now, a host bar, obviously we have to make projections, and I'm going to say, because it's lunch, let's base it on 2 drinks per person. So, what we have to do now is determine the cost. So based on your relationships with all of your suppliers, this is where you go out and get the quote that you are going to need in order to put this program together. But for today, we are going to assume that I have already done that work, and I'm just going to put it here on the spreadsheet to show you how we compile all of the information. So we have a coach, and we're going to need that coach for about 8 hours. We need 1 coach, and the unit price of the coach, let's just, for argument's sake, it may vary, so please make sure that you do call your various suppliers to get the correct price. But let's say it is $1,000 for an 8-hour excursion, and then we're going to extend those prices in a minute. A tour guide, well, we need 1 per coach. So again, we have 1 tour guide, and let's say that they charge us $150 to do. Actually, for 8 hours is going to probably be more like $250 for that. A wine tour. Let's say this particular group has 50 people, so we need 50 guests at how much for the tour. I'm going to say it's a $10 per person tour price. The 3-course meal. Again, it's 50 people. Let's say we've got our price at $50 from the winery. Host bar, 2 drinks per person. Let's assume with taxes, gratuity, that it's $12 per drink for the group at the winery, or say $10. Let's make it a little easier. So we have 50 people that are going to have 2 drinks per person on average, so that will be $20. Just going to format this particular cell to be more dollars. Just widening the columns. So now we want to extend all of these prices to give you an idea as to how much the overall program is going to cost. So let's just do a quick formula here. Obviously, it's the number of, that will be times the unit price, which gives us an overall price. Just copy these formulas down to the end, and we see what the extensions are for each of those costs. Now we need a total. We have the components of our program. Now we need to total it. So we know to take 50 people by coach with a tour guide for a tour and a 3-course lunch with drinks is going to cost $5,250 per person, or sorry, total. If you want a per person price, we are just going to take that total and divide it by the amount of people, which we know to be 50. So we know we can do this program for $105 per person. Certainly not a bad tour program, and this is a very quick way that you can cost out a budget for a particular venue.